everyone, and welcome once again to an all new free learning session on algebra brought to you by TutorEye, and this time on solving quadratic equations by factor method. So, hi, my name is Amandeep. I'm leading academics here at TutorEye. We are 24/7 e-learning platform helping students achieve their academic goals through expert online tutoring and written help services. With me is Sebastian, our in-house math tutor, and John Paul, our guest speaker. Sebastian and John, welcome to the free session on algebra. Hi.
Thank you very much.
Hi. So before we jump into the session, I would like to quickly have John sort of introduce himself. And John, also please share, what are you working on nowadays?
Okay, so hi everyone. First of all, thank you TutorEye for having me today. It's a real pleasure. So my name is Jean Paul. I'm from Lebanon. It's a small country in the Middle East, and I'm mainly a biology tutor at TutorEye. But I'm also interested really in all kinds of sciences, including, of course, math, but mainly chemistry as well. Nowadays, I'm mainly tutoring. I'm also studying medicine, so that I can really become a physician later on. And so these are my really main occupations these days.
Okay, that's great, John. So John, how do you see education in general post-pandemic? According to you, it's going to stay online, or do we have to sort of adapt to hybrid models? What's your take on that?
I think the pandemic really showed us how important online education can be, and I don't think we can just simply go back to being purely in-person tutoring and education. For example, the main, I think, advantage of online education was the flexibility it really gave both tutors and students. So let's say, for example, algebra, if I may be struggling with one particular chapter in algebra, if it's online tutoring, then I can really go back to the session and I can go over, I can go through it all over again, maybe at my own pace. So if I feel like I'm really confident with the material, I can go at 1.5 speed maybe. If not, I can repeat. And so I think this flexibility is really, really important. And at the same time, the pandemic really taught us that stuff like these webinars, these international really settings can be helpful, can be important, and it can really help advance the education. And so I think we will not simply go back to purely in person. It will be hybrid, in my opinion, definitely.
Okay, thank you for that insight, John. Sebastian, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thanks.
Okay, so Sebastian, I would really want to check with you. What advice would you like to give to people who are struggling in math?
Well, there's a few things. Firstly, practice is really important when it comes to maths. Your teacher can only do so much. You need to make sure you're doing what they ask behind the scenes. But also make sure you do go for extra help if you feel like you need it. Everyone's been in the situation before where you've just come out of a maths class and you feel like everything the teacher has just said went in one ear and out the other completely. So in situations like that, you have to really take initiative over your own learning, be it with your own teacher or through, for example, services such as TutorEye. Look for other means of topping up your skills because everyone has the ability to understand what they've been taught. It's just a matter of putting in that extra effort where you might need it.
Right. Thank you, Sebastian. Switching back to John. John, in terms of teaching methodologies, what glaring changes do you see advancing from schools to colleges?
Okay, so I really want to stop at something Sebastian just said, and it's really about initiative. I think that's the main point of difference between really schools and colleges and universities, because as you really go from school to a college, you're becoming more independent, not just in your life in general, but also your education. So in school, maybe your teachers were there to push you to study, uh, help you go through the learning material slowly. In college, it's different. In college, you're either really invested in your own education and in your own future, or you're not, and no one's there to push you through it. And I think this is where initiative really starts to become more and more important, I think. And so you really have to, in college, go the extra mile. You have to do more practice on your own. You have to maybe seek some external help from services such as TutorEye, from your friends and colleagues, and all of that. And so I think that's really the major point of difference, in my opinion.
That's wonderful. Talking of insight, John, we are also sort of curious to know about any academic challenge that you faced as a student, and how did you overcome that challenge?
Okay. I think that's one challenge that everyone faces at one point in time, and that's the need for someone to be there, whether someone to just listen to you, maybe nagging about how much you have to study, or someone to guide you or explain to you a certain topic. Uh, I think that's something everyone really faces at one point, and um, I'm I was a good student, and so I didn't really struggle much with the material. But at the same time, I had really so many questions. So I really needed the help because it was out of curiosity more than just me needing it for the exam. But everyone needs it at some point, and it's really hard to find this. It's really hard to find this at your own school, for example. It's really hard to find maybe instructors and professors who are ready to just be there at any point in time and answer your questions at the pace that you're comfortable with. And so I was fortunate enough that I really had a good connection with my professors, and that's really the main thing that helped me go through this challenge at school and at university later on. But I think right now for everyone, really the most accessible solution to this challenge that everyone faces is tutoring platforms, where really you can find anyone who is ready to help you no matter what.
Absolutely. That's awesome, John. Let's hope and wish we are all empowered to be able to sort of face challenges and have someone guide us through those challenges also.